Hi everybody, it's Leah with Family Heritage Living. This is a majorly impromptu video. I had a quiet moment. I've been thinking about another video on how to reduce your screen time, and I had several people ask for some ideas and suggestions. One thing that we had done in place of our screen time, again, what you don't want to do is you don't want to create a situation where you're replacing one habit for another. I mean, that's not any healthier than keeping the old habit. But one thing that you can do to wean yourself is to use audible things. Music is a good one. However, music is as abused, if not more abused, than TV or video or whatever you want to call it. And it can be as aggressive as any violent movie, and even if there's not violent words in it, the music itself can create agitation within. And see, that's one of the things is we don't realize that the things that are surrounding us can create unrest within us. And besides numbing the mind, besides dumbing us down, besides taking away our creativity, it can create unwelcome feelings or unwelcome moods. And the whole point in decreasing screen time is to get control over those things, to replace the negative with a positive. So if you're really addicted to screen time, and I covered it briefly in my previous video, but I would recommend that you pick, get rid of the TV, as far as get rid of any outside feed. Go solely on DVDs. And that way you are totally in control in what you're watching. You're not getting any commercials. And if you do, you can skip right past them. But I would put things in that are oriented to your purpose. If you're a family and you're wanting to create just a complete family environment, nothing that, is unwelcoming at all to anyone in your family, I would totally go with family-oriented shows. And just because a show today says it's family-oriented, if there's profanity, if there's watered-down profanity, if there's partial nudity, if there is revealing dress, if there's attitudes, it doesn't have to be along the first two lines. It could be children have attitudes with parents or parents have attitudes with each other. I'd get rid of all those things. I would focus on shows that many might find boring, many might find mundane. But if the point is because you are so addicted to having something going, pick things that you're just going to kind of tune out, but yet at the same time it's going to settle into your mind. And then I would pick things that amount of time. I would try to find the least amount that you can watch a day where you're comfortable and not anxious about it. And eventually, wean that down. The other thing that if you can do it, I would recommend, because there are so many things you can streamline today that are audible, books on, they used to be called CD, it used to be called cassettes actually, and then it went to CDs, but you can streamline those same books. And you can go to your library. Your library is a wonderful resource for books on CD, all different types of genre. But again, if your point in decreasing the screen time and tuning in what you're, really refining what you're watching is to create a peaceful, loving home environment, then you're going to want to do the same when you pick your books. There are books that, but for an example, there was a series of books called Soup, and absolutely just a hilarious, well-written book by a very talented author. But there was too many situations that Ron and I felt were unhealthy for the children. And so we had to decide that those were not acceptable for us to listen to. Another example would be, Beverly Cleary does a really good books for children or for older children, where on the flip side, Beverly Cleary, Judy Blume, her books, and I'm not trying to knock anybody here, and a lot of people find them appropriate, but there's a lot of sarcasm in Judy Blume's books that I did not find appropriate. So I had to make sure that before I would allow these things to be played, that these are things, because once they're heard, And then it's like once you see something, you see it, it burns into your brain almost on certain things. And it's the same thing with hearing things. So we have to pick in advance. We have to, and that's why, anything you can get away around where you're not exposed to the media, and though it's harder with streamlining now than it used to be, it's awesome because, it's like my kids. My kids are never exposed to commercials. And if there's a DVD, there's a commercial on, we just fast forward past it. But because of that, they have a natural source of interest that is developed just on the things they are exposed to. Instead of seeing something and saying, oh, you know what, I got to have that. They have no idea what the end thing is. And that is good because media, merchandising, marketing does not affect their interest. And that's powerful in this day and age when we live in an era that has been here for 120 years. Such excessive marketing keeps ramping up every day. So the other thing, Audible, that you can, if you're a Christian home and you want to hear teachings and preachings, family encouraging things, there are all types of things to find online. Just make sure that what you're doing is, in line with the word, that it's not contrary to the word, even though it might profess to be. I mean, we just have to be careful with everything. So I know I'm putting a lot of things out there to say, oh, be careful. But there are so many things to be careful in. And we have to use wisdom there. The other thing to do instead of watching something is enjoy the quiet. Pick up a book, turn your lights down low, and just read. I mean, it's just an incredible feeling to connect again with the written word, something that we don't do. I mean, we've got, we're just talking about the audio books. Yeah, I mean, that's just an example. We can take that to the extreme. I always like to listen to, my kids always like to listen to audio books when they were working on something. They might be working on a model, they might be working on a puzzle, they might be working on, drawing or, whatever. And they enjoyed hearing the story in the background. We liked for them to, Adventures in Odyssey. That is an awesome Christian youth tool that you can use. The stories, applied, create good morality and values. There are some characters in there that are a little bit sassier than what I would like, but you can address those things. You can use that as a learning experience, but they always in the end, I guess, get directed into a lesson about maybe their attitude. But nonetheless, for the most part, this is really just an excellent series, and it's been going on for years and years. One thing we like to do a lot is in the evening we read aloud at the table, together. I will pick a book. The kids always, read a lot of kids' books, but also maybe we're reading something historical or something that just, it suits all of our interest. We go to old newspapers. It's really fun to go back to newspapers from over 100 years ago, and you can find those online. I will try on my website, I will try to create a resource for people. Let me know if you're interested, because it does take a lot of time sometimes to do things like that. So if you're interested, please, leave a comment below. Let me know that you'd be interested in having some resource links, and I'll be happy to put that together. I guess for now, that's probably enough ideas I've thrown out there for y'all who are interested in decreasing your screen time. Again, as adults, most of this is geared for kids, but applicable for adults if you don't have children in the home. We just have to learn. It's really a training thing in our minds. We get so accustomed and so habitual about things, and we have to not only have the want to and move forward to do it, we have to know that it's going to take some time. Don't be discouraged if you're set and ready to go with this, and you feel like you backslide or you've fallen back into the problem. Just face it, acknowledge it, and move forward again. Because you can do this. You can reduce your screen time or eliminate it altogether. And then if you all but eliminate it on the few occasions that you feel, maybe you're going to watch something once a month or, even, once every other month, whatever, you can thoroughly enjoy that time and not feel any guilt or feel like you're letting life go by or missing out on anything. And it's a freeing feeling. It's a feeling of independence. It's a feeling of stepping outside of the box. It's a feeling of not being dictated to by our society for how we should spend our free time. And it's engaging back into life. I mean, it is it is just empowering to engage into your own life. So, all right. Well, that's it for now. My kids will probably be back here shortly. They just finished chores with their daddy, and I saw them headed back up to where we keep our grain to put stuff away. So I'm sure that my little noisemakers that I love dearly will be back in any minute in time for their schooling. But I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave it down below in the comment. If you have any ideas for another video. If you liked this video, please be sure to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, and please share on your social media outlets, Facebook, Instagram. I don't know how you do it on Instagram. But Facebook, whatever you know how to do it on. I'm not about the only social media we do is I do put pictures on Instagram, and we have a Facebook page. And other than that, I'm kind of clueless. So, all right, again, thanks for watching, and we will talk soon. God bless.